Tonight, our special transmission as Israeli forces convert the primary healthcare facility in southern Gaza into military barracks. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Zahra Sayed. Today is the 132nd day since Israel started waging its indiscriminate war on Palestine. Reports by the Palestinian Health Ministry show Israel's incessant attacks have killed 112 civilians in the past 24 hours. 157 have been wounded. Israeli forces' incursion into Khan Yunis's Nasser Hospital has resulted in the deaths of 4 patients due to severed electricity and oxygen supplies. The army claims to have arrested over 20 Hamas fighters within the hospital premises. A doctor at the hospital is describing the situation as catastrophic. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vows to oppose unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state. On the other hand, the U.S. has once again issued a warning against an Israeli ground attack on Rafah without a viable evacuation plan. The death toll continues to mount. At the time of writing, 28,775 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces. 8,000 Palestinians are presumed dead under the rubble. Israel's revised death toll from Hamas's attack stands at 1,139. Israeli forces are conducting a raid on Nasser Hospital in Gaza, claiming they are targeting Hamas members hiding in the premises. Nasser Medical Complex is the primary healthcare facility in Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. 2,000 Palestinians forced out of the hospital have arrived in the southern border city of Rafah overnight. Others have been pushed north to Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. The Israeli military defends the operation and says it is necessary. It alleges Hamas is using the hospital for military purposes. Doctors Without Borders condemns the attack. Fighting at the hospital comes as Israel defies growing international pressure to spare civilians. In related news, Gaza's health ministry says the Israeli army has converted the Nasser Hospital into military barracks, endangering the lives of patients. Earlier in the day, the ministry reported that Israeli forces raided the complex, demolished its southern wall, and started using it as a military camp. In a statement, the ministry says that in the next 24 hours, the hospital will be depleted of fuel for generators, endangering the lives of many patients. These include 6 individuals on ventilators in the intensive care unit and 3 infants in the nursery. The ministry says 95 healthcare workers, 11 of their family members, 191 patients, and 165 displaced individuals have been forced into the old Nasser building under harsh conditions. There is a lack of essential supplies such as food, milk for children, and water. Medical teams are unable to provide adequate treatment to patients, leading to a deterioration to their health condition. The statement says the occupation forces have targeted ambulance headquarters, displaced tents, and are excavating mass graves within the complex. The relentless Israeli attacks have forced 85% of Gaza's population into internal displacement. The blockade of humanitarian aid is causing acute shortages of food, clean water, and medicine. The United Nations reports the Israeli attacks have damaged or destroyed 60% of the enclave's infrastructure. Leaders from Australia, from Canada, and from New Zealand are cautioning Israel against a potential ground offensive in Rafah in southern Gaza. In a joint statement, these leaders say any such move will pose grave humanitarian risks for civilians. Prime Ministers Anthony Albanese, Justin Trudeau, and Christopher Luxon are calling on Israel to consider international advice. They are calling on Israel for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. Concerns about Israel's planned offensive have also been raised by French President Emmanuel Macron and the United Nations officials. Several Arab states are placing restrictions on the United States' use of military bases within their borders for conducting strikes against groups affiliated with Iran. A report by Politico, a U.S.-based digital media company, says these limitations are escalating amidst rising civilian casualties in Gaza. The report says several anonymous U.S. officials say these restrictions extend to defensive actions in regions such as Iraq, Syria, and the Red Sea. It suggests that the UAE's motivation for these actions stems from a desire not to appear antagonistic towards Iran. The UAE is also seeking to avoid seeming overly aligned with Western powers and Israel. The exact number of countries implementing such measures remains unclear. This move is significant given the long-standing presence of U.S. troops at bases across the Middle East and the Gulf. These include locations in the UAE, Kuwait, Oman, and Qatar. Since October 7th, the involvement of these nations in facilitating U.S. military operations has come under heightened scrutiny. Iraq has also restricted U.S. military activity. Renad Mansour, director of the Iraq Initiative at the Chatham House, highlights Iraq's vulnerability to external powers' influence due to its weak and divided government. So far, the UAE Embassy, the Pentagon, and the U.S. State Department have not commented on the report. A former British finance minister is advocating for a memorial for Muslims who laid down their lives for the British Empire during World War I and World War II. Nearly 140,000 Muslims died defending the British Empire during these two wars. Sir Sajid Javid is urging Chancellor Jeremy Hunt to support his proposal. Sir Javid has served as the Home Secretary and then the Chancellor from 2019 to 2020. The Commonwealth War Graves Commission supports the initiative. It says it acknowledges the importance of commemorating diverse faiths of those who served in the wars. The proposed memorial will be erected at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire, West Midlands. Sir Javid says the memorial will educate future generations about the role of Muslim soldiers in defending the empire. The final design is pending. The World War's Muslim Memorial Trust is raising £100,000 for its construction. The banking service Wise is facing scrutiny for its actions towards certain faith groups. There are concerns that the service has discriminated against Muslim-run organizations. Ruh Care, a therapy platform for Muslim Canadians, has had its Wise account closed without clear explanation. Omar Khan, Ruh Care's CEO, says the move is frustrating and has impacted the operations of the platform. Khan says the action has affected the payments to employees across Canada. The organization had to find another bank to pay a software developer in Gaza. Another Muslim fundraising platform, LaunchGood, is facing a similar situation. Chris Blaufeld, LaunchGood's CEO, says the company should treat all customers equally. Wise says it adheres to its legal obligations, but has not commented on these cases. Wise's website states it is regulated by the Financial Transactions and Report Analysis Centre of Canada. The centre is Canada's financial intelligence unit that tracks money laundering and terrorist financing. In its latest financial report, Wise says it also abides by banking regulators in the US and in the UK. Experts suggest Israel's war on Palestine may have influenced Wise's actions. They say broader international banking systems have prioritized risk mitigation over individual cases. Thank you for watching. Muslim Network TV is a proud media partner of Ramadan Expo 2024. You can watch our special transmission for the Expo on our YouTube channel. We need your support so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.